So I've actually just got the whole thing now, and I can't believe how dumb and stupid that I've been. I know that people talk about Elon Musk, and I know I've heard Neil Oliver talk about these, STARLINK or whatever, for being in contact if you're out in remote places in the middle of nowhere. But I didn't really think about it too much. And now that people have said they've found this comet, right, and people are trying to photograph this A3 or A30 comet, and it's only seen at a certain time. I knew there was a big space station up there because it's a really bright star. Obviously, you can see that, and people have talked about it. But I've never ever seen this row of satellites at this distance that apparently I've just actually been told about now, because I've never seen them. I knew Elon Musk had satellites up there, like on Die Another Day, with the Icarus thing, but I never knew that it was like to such extent like that. Like there's some kind of literally, and then the whole thing's just falling into place now. The whole joke with Keir Starmer being the Prime Minister of England, it all being planned and strategized for Starmer and this empire. It's almost like this is on an epic scale of the pyramids. They've made this biblical. Because the Star of David in the Bible, and, seeing this bright star is meant to be like, a big event or a big change, right? And I knew that space station, I'm like, there's some kind of biblical symbology in this. And I don't mean dogmatic, I mean like, change of modern technology, right? And all this Elon Musk star system. But now I've just kind of realised the joke. Tucker Carlson has just said, he doesn't want himself to be associated with, any religion or Christianity or Christ or anything like that, but which is quite ironic, seeing that he's interviewing and on with Russell Brand all the time, who is. I'm not really a mega religious person, but, if you understand the general principle of prayers and praying and God and so forth, you don't have to be, most people, it's a national religion, It is the national religion, whether you like it or not, and it's based on religious principles. Most people have been to a wedding. I'm sure Tucker Carlson's been to weddings. I mean, he doesn't want to associate himself with the church, but I mean, it would be interesting if Tucker Carlson came out and said, "I've never been to a wedding. I'm not religious." Short of dropping acid or whatever. I think Tucker Carlson probably has been to funerals, and he might have even been to christenings, I don't know, but no one's saying anything about that, and that's a completely different subject, but that was just a thing that I'd say about Tucker Carlson. But what these elites are doing to us now, and now that I'm realising that, Microsoft's just changing my computer, usually if you have Windows 98 and you don't want to get new, they stop supporting Windows 98, right? But you can still buy it and run it if you want. You might have a retro program you like a game or a computer that only runs on that, and you might have a computer to do that. Okay? Doesn't even have to be connected to the internet. But what they're doing now is they're not just bringing out a new Windows, right? And then when you get that new Windows, it's got new programs and new stuff. What they're actually forcing you to do now is, if you've got an older Windows, they're making changes to it. But yet you bought this thing, and you get used to using it, and now they say, well, tough, we're actually changing it, which is the basic principle of changing your own things which you've bought. But they made it, right? Now, the thing with all these cars, when they're recalling them, once they start making cars, these electronic cars that can blow up or whatever, they could just say, there's a fault with all these cars, we'll have to recall them and take them back off you, right? And then even they could even take them off you and give you a new car. And you're not allowed to have that car anymore. Or even change the whole thing. This is now you will own nothing and be happy. You'll get what you're given, we'll get what we're making. It's no longer people making things and you going around the market looking at things that you might want to buy, and then you buy it, then you own that, and then you go home. Elon Musk and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, right? They think that they actually own us now because we consent to accept. I'm Jeff, I own you. I own your body, you're mine. This is slavery, right? And if I want to take your eyeballs out and change them, I can. because there's a virus going around and you're not allowed to have those eyeballs anymore. I'm recalling them because I'm God, right? This is the thing, your village it's like that village in Wales, that they made disappear to put a reservoir there. On that scale, okay, you've got a 17th century village, it's been there forever, but tough, I'm building a new airplane factory there, and, this is the thing, but the thing with a lot of these people like Bill Gates and Elon Musk, in English law, you used to be able to arrest people under civil suit, right? Which is, the police don't get involved in civil matters, right? But you used to be able to arrest people and have them taken to court if they owed you money, right? Or if you wanted a civil claim against them, right? And this is where privileges comes in, like lords and barons and privilege, right? But Elon Musk and Bill Gates, he's not Lord Bill. And it's not Lord Elon, and it's not Lord Mark. Even Sir Nick Clegg is not Baron Clegg, as far as I know, right? And they can be prosecuted in a magistrate's court. You can, if Bill Gates headbutts you, right, or even if he owes you 50 quid, right, you can take him to civil court and claim it against him, even if he appeals it all the way up to Supreme Court, right? And you can prosecute him for headbutting you, right? He's not Baron Gates. Now, the thing is, if you had a jury, right, jury of 12 people, if we still had it, which you're meant to do in a civil court, you can say Bill Gates stole everything that he's got from us with extortionate prices, which are unjust and, in fact, fraudulent, because those prices cannot be realistic, right? No one, the fraudulent prices, it never costs that, right? And you could go into a court and get a jury to say, yeah, and then you could make him pay it all back. Like that. Just like that. And Jeff Bezos. But what they'd do is they'd appeal it, right? They would appeal it straight away to the High Court. And then, if the people brought the case, right, civil litigation, lots of people, could even be, the whole country could all put a pound in, right? Could be like a £1 billion case, right? Then he might, even if you won again, then he would appeal to the Supreme Court, right? Or Court of Appeals or whatever, but you'll end up eventually in the Supreme Court, and it won't be a jury because it'll be like 3 peers, right? So it could be the people, the whole country, versus Bill Gates, right? But who's going to be deciding it? 3 justices who might be on the side of Emma Arbuthnot, and her husband, who's MI5 and MI6, and this MI6 chief security guy, and they like Elon Musk Starlink satellites. They like facial recognition. They like tech. Politicians are pushing for it. Not just politicians. The department, non-elected staff of the security services want tech. They like it. They want more tech. We need it, according to them. So, and they're going to be pushing it through every part of government that they possibly can. Probably have done already. Probably been lobbying for it, legally, is government staff. This is why in America, when they started the Constitution to stop corruption, elected government office holders didn't vote. They weren't one party or the other party. The people elect them to go open and shut the doors and cupboards in government, right? And, you send a message in, they process it and send it out. If they start refusing to process messages that are, from Democrats or from Republicans or even from an individual who wants a matter resolved, it's almost like locking the public toilets. It's the same as a council locking the public toilets when you need a wee, right? Because it's you. It's because they don't want you to use it, and then getting the police to arrest you because you weed in public, right? That's not impartiality, that's bias, right? It's like that, but on a much massive, serious scale, right? The government has been taken over by political parties, not the electors. And then when individuals are trying to use privileges, protections, immunities to get other citizens to sign things to make the government change the laws how we want, we've got these satellites all around us now. And I think we're dealing... And then what happens is you get these terrorist incidents happening where they try frighten us and scare us and threaten us, and now they're throwing various, they're messing, they own all the chemical labs, all the chemical research things, all the non-profit organisations. I quote Charles, nothing says it more perfectly than the king himself. A military-style campaign with trillions at the disposal, beyond leaders from a private corporate sector, right? An army, right? And this is it. And Elon Musk's army is private company, which has got a contract out to the government, and he's even dabbling in wars now. So it is Bond villain. You know, these are the entire model of the Bond villain is Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Because no one who has an army of staff that on a button, they control all social media now that everyone relies and depends on. They're not the government, right? Nobody on this planet should be in command of an army, private. Warfare is not all done by cannons and helicopters and artillery and fighter planes and navy ships now. It is done by Look, tanks influence people. When you got a tank, you've got other people who've got a tank. If they don't have a tank, then, you know, that you're going to beat them, right? It's people who are trying to make other people do what they want. And if they don't do what they want with a couple of pitchforks, then they have to bring in, you know, a couple of soldiers with shields. And if it gets more escalative, they have to bring in armed tanks and artillery, right? You don't need that if you can push a button and all their pages blow up, right? Or if their mobile phones all, you know, just the battery just shuts it down and it won't start again, right? Or if everyone's mobile phone screen pops up with the face of the general, or even Elon Musk saying, "Hello everyone, it's Elon. You'll find that your phone doesn't work properly now. Oh, what a shame. But then again, you did consent to accept to everything I said. If you would all please like to move to the outside your houses now and, you know, sit down and wait for my drones to come round and escort you away. Otherwise, you know, this phone might have to blow up in your hands, you know, or you might have to squirt some gas out, or, you know, I have to start annoying you with these new Neil Mohan gadgets on the phone, which are getting in the way of you watching a video normally, which are really, you know, we don't want you to be upset or distressed now, do we? Or anxiety. There'll be, you know, if you don't comply with my wishes, I might have to put some of those annoying adverts on again and make you wait for more than 10 seconds this time, 30 seconds in between every advert. You know, there'll be consequences. If you don't start doing as I say, you don't start buying, you know, go and get the new phone now, or else, this is what happened with Jeff Bezos, you know, when that Deliveroo thing went to a house and it wouldn't let the person out of his own house or something like that because it was some Amazon equipment or something fitted to the security services of the house. You know, that's where they're going with this, right? And the whole STARMER thing is, you know, this is what they do, you know. Stop You Les protesters make, you know, joke pictures of Khan, right? Extinction Rebellion throw orange paint on galleries. The government select people like Sir Keir Starmer. When we've got, you know, these apocalyptic change in technology that's going to change mankind forever, events of massive proportion, get the message, Starmer, we are the empire, you know, we are the gods, effectively, you know, meet your maker. You know, these people now are, you know, forget the pharaoh in the pyramid, you know, look at this. A string of satellites around the Earth, and then you've got Neil Oliver. He's rating it Neil Oliver's like, oh yeah, where's my Starlink? I'm a star. Yeah, we're going to make you a star. It's all right for me. I'm moaning about everything, but I'm all right, Jack. I am a star, and I need my Starlink, right? And now Oliver's even saying, the past's gone now. The past's gone. It's gone. He's the one saying, I would save everything, save us from this, and now it's gone. There's nothing to stand up against. There's nothing to fight for now. It's gone. It's why? Because, what behaviour was to control in this country in 1950, which necessitated a string of satellites around the Earth, when everyone, had access to a telephone in every corner of the street anyway, where has all this crime come from? They've done it on purpose. It's imported crime to necessitate all this facial recognition surveillance. They used to go into courts, right? And they used to prove this person has got an obsessive compulsive disorder, an obsession, or even paranoia. Now, right, why is the government must know absolutely everything, right? They want to know every single person's location, every single transaction or thing that you do, every single thing you like or you don't like, and where you are at any given time. Is that not obsessive compulsive, right? If a person in the 1920s had to know absolutely everything, right, like that, and they were going on about it all the time, they would be taken to court and called obsessive compulsive, right? And yet now, they have to do it. Paranoid people. You used to be paranoid, if you were, what's that person saying over there? What's that person saying over there, right? What they're doing in the other room. They used to call you paranoid. And they used to say, if you were always thinking about what other people are doing or want to know what other people are doing, right? It's called paranoia, right? Yet now, we have to do it. It must. These people actually qualify as paranoid obsessives, right, with their model and plan. And in the past, they used to condemn us, prosecute us, imprison us, and even lock people up in medical facilities because of wanting to know everything, right? And they actually are that. This is what they actually are. They actually are that. This is them. And it's all mainly for profit and money and to get people to do what they want, right? I don't think it's for convenience. Because it's not... YouTube isn't convenient now. What Neil Mohan is doing with YouTube now is... It's like when you go to a circus or something and, have you ever seen people with a game, a pack of cards or whatever, when they can, like, use their hand and you've got, like, anything from a matchstick or to a cigarette lighter and you can just do all these fancy tricks with your hand, right? You can wiggle your fingers and you can pass the cigarette lighter, right, between your fingers really quick from one side to the other, from between your little finger and then pass it between all your other fingers really quick to between your thumb and your other finger, and even like twirl it around. Just flamboyant exhibitions, right, which is there's no point to, right, other than entertainment. If you've got a cigarette lighter, you want to use it in like a cigarette, right? What was all this basically like, cheerleaders, or, pom-poms or, whatever it is, literally arbitrary exhibitions of, extreme extravagance for the sake of it, right? When you just want to go on YouTube, like on the classic app, right, and watch the fucking video, right? Now, if they've got tech in the background, which gets better suggestions, fair enough, right? But now, the amount of pointless display just because he can. It's great, it's great, look what I can do, showing off, right? It's like someone sat there, right, and they suddenly learned to, do a card, like, when you get a card game and you do a card trick and, like, you flick the cards, when you either split them or break them, and then various other card tricks, right? It's like that. There's no point in it other than to show off, right? Or do you want to watch the fucking video? Do you want to play card? Do you want to play Snap? Or are you just want to show off with those fucking card games, right? But they think it's good because it's a spoiler on the back of a car. You don't need it, right? And someone can get really show-off bodywork on a car. Amazing show-off bodywork, right? Which is pointless. Now, fair enough, yeah, they're making the engine of YouTube better behind the scenes, all the tech that's powering all the suggestions and so forth, right? And, but, you always could put comments on there. It's annoying. It's getting annoying. And some of it's not actually progress. It's not an advancement, right? It's like, it's almost like the T2000, I can turn my hand into a hammer, or a fucking, it's literally like the T2000, I can turn myself into a pack of cigarettes or whatever, or, I've got my hand can, pick a lock or whatever, or, he can turn its arm into an anvil or whatever, right? But, I'm a human and I like doing human things, right? It's just pointless. A lot of it is extravagance, and it actually now is getting in the way. It's not helpful. When the army, right? The army have got equipment. They've got viewfinders. They've got binoculars. They've got gadgets. They've got infrared. They've got all kinds of things in the army, right? But it does what it does very well, and usually quite simple, right? Even if it's super tech, right? It doesn't have 20 different screens like flying around, moving from left to right and repositioning and then fucking expanding and collapsing. It's actually a distraction and a waste of time. And, we're having to be made all these seconds. No one ever... I don't know anyone who's bought anything from a YouTube advert ever, right? No, I don't know who buys from those adverts. They're stealing time from you, and they can afford to. What these massive multi-trillion-dollar companies are doing now is they can throw money into YouTube, right, to steal your time. Money they've stolen from you is surplus, excess, trillions at the disposal. Just throwing it, stealing your time, so you've got less and less and less time to do things, less and less and less time. What they're actually doing is trying to slow people down and take their time up so that we haven't got as much time. At a time now when people are actually trying to oppose all this, what is happening, fairly, and they might call us Luddites, but, we know where it's going. People used to have skills to make things. Now they don't have skills. That's the thing. In the workforce, right, you've got skilled and semi-skilled work, which pays more, right, if it's skilled, right? And you had artisans and you had specialists, and now since the machines took over, the artists are fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer. The artisans are fewer and fewer and fewer, and the more and more semi-skilled, or even not even skilled. And only the person who fixes the machine and the technician is skilled, right? Until no one is needed in the workforce. Now, if you don't have a skill, right, you're not skilled or semi-skilled, and you're not an artisan. And I don't know, I cannot see these gurus prioritising any person who is no good for anything, not skilled, and even if it's sport, notice it's Usain Bolt, they're selected athletes, and all the Russians, cheating with God knows what, and half the stuff that they've got now that they cheat with in athletics, we don't even know what it is, and it's not even detectable in a test because they don't even know that it exists, and they're not even told us that it exists. They're just choosing people like, Usain Bolt is going to be the next, miraculous world champion. Where do they pull these names from? This is the thing. It won't even be any fun in sport anymore, They're just going to be, it's lab rats. It effectively is lab rats, and that's, this is the way they're going. Definitely. Because, why have we got all this crime? If they're such geniuses and all this tech was so good, starting from the 1800s, why aren't things better? Immediately when you get tech, if it's any good, then why isn't crime suddenly dropped on such a steep incline that no one could even conceive of wanting to do any crime voluntarily, right? It seems to have gone the other way. In fact, the more and more tech we've got, the more and more crime we've got, right? And the more serious weapons that they've made. So the current trajectory of where it's going is not looking good prospects, right? And, all this, it's worse than this is worse than wind farms, This is actually worse now than STARMER allowing onshore wind farms with, Vince Dale, when we can use water power and no one will have to see it hardly. When water power is constantly moving and a lot more powerful and stronger than the wind. They're now starting to even shape the heavens and make a point. I'm quite surprised that it doesn't actually spell out STARMER in letters, right, in stars already. We are conquered, we're snookered, we're gone. This is it. This is the new pharaoh, the new sign of the times, right? It is just scandalous. It's just a mockery. The fact that it has to be STARMER as well at the exact time. Oh no, the heavens have aligned. It's STARMER. And now they're going to tell us all about the comet, and now is a STARLINK. I didn't realise that was there. Well, you do now. Now this Christmas, STARMER's first Christmas. And by the way, everyone, there's an A30 asteroid. Oh, by the way, now you can see STARLINK. Did you know it was up there? Well, no, I'd seen a big, space station there, but now they're really making a point, STARMER. Really? STARMER, the Prime Minister, really? With this, at the same time, this is not beans on the Mona Lisa or soup in a gallery. This is this is the art of those who think they are gods, those who believe they are God's artwork. This is a piss take, I don't think Elon Musk should be auditing the American government. I don't think that he should be going anywhere near the American government's accounts. Not that he hasn't already audited it anyway, unofficially, that his AI hasn't already audited it. Probably already audited it, he's just officially going to be allowed to tell everyone that, he already audited it and all the files are in the Batcave,